Hello everybody, and welcome back to some WARNO League action as we're back for some more Division 2 action and then another Division 1 semifinal today. So a lot of good stuff coming our way. We start with the third place match between the clearly not MJ player, and the Axis here in Division 2. Those two had a pretty good run. Those two will move on to Division 1 next season as well. And now they're fighting for the honor of the bronze medal in Division 2. And they're going to start an airport here with Axis bringing around the 101st Airborne and MJ player bringing around the Knife Panzer on the right side. So that should be a quite good game as well. Two divisions with Knife Panzer being a part of the meta ever since it came out in December last year. Whilst on the left side, Axis here, bringing around a division that has dipped in and out quite a couple of times, and currently it's back in with 101st Airborne. And it's going to be interesting to see what it can do here on airport against the 9th. So, Chloride, what is your analysis of these setups?
Yes. So what I'm thinking is, first of all, let's look at these Delta Force units here. We see, interestingly, two cards of Deltas. The slots for 101st have never been the most generous ones, and spending two recon slots to get both the elite Deltas and the veteran Deltas means that this is a very Delta-heavy opener here, and a Delta-heavy play maybe. And airport is not the worst place for that. There's a lot of places to go, and the speed advantage, the inherent stealth advantage and the fact that Deltas are like the best stealth rating infantry in the game, maybe. And so Delta heavy opener, which will mean that there is going to be just less muscle on the board right now. We're seeing two Humvee toes and two leaders also coming from Axis. Speaking of like a very aggro opener. And if you're looking at the opponent here, first I was thinking that it's quite interesting that MJ Blair is bringing so many Mi-2 helicopters, both the recons and the urns. But then I realized that these are actually very relevant. Yeah, now we're seeing even more recon infantry coming in from Axis to plug those gaps of those 120 kph Humvee Deltas is basically impossible without the Mi-2s here. So that is why getting them out might be the right choice, even if the 9th does not have anti-air helicopters, unlike 101st, which generally does play them. And MJ Blair's opener here on the other side is very straightforward and going to the wrong place, in my opinion. I think this MJ Blair seems to be playing defensively and wanting to fortify the most defensible location in one of the most defensible locations in the game, which is the two towers area here. Committing into this area against 101st is especially sorry, especially bad because 101st has great infantry. So it would make more sense, in my opinion, to get around the Echo and Foxtrot area, especially Echo, because you can build up with 9's tanks and BMPs, you can build up a lot of fire support and force the enemy to fight you on longer distances. So I honestly am not sure what MJ Blair is doing here. This possibly is an attack. So the infantry unloads on the buildings and then immediately starts to push towards Zulu and the blue towers. Now, this would also be inefficient, but it could also be a surprise because it is such a kind of unlikely tactic to be done.
I feel like it might just be a defensive game with the consideration that like the only way to really end the game quickly for the 101st is getting to Papa. So maybe MJ players just like, I will win the late game with the heavier deck, and I just need to get the enemy away from getting a +6 or so going on, and just keep them out. So maybe that's why they invest so much here. Plus, they maybe want to stay away from long-range TOW2 ranges and Hellfire ranges until they have enough recon and forces around. Like, the T-72s are great tanks, but they are not long-range tanks. So And they're not the fastest either. So using them around Foxtrot, using them around Bravo is actually not that easy when the enemy has TOW2s and Hellfires coming your way. So I kind of get why they do it here. I still am with you that it is for sure not the best move for the first 10 minutes. It might be a sensible decision long game, though.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking is that actually, if you lose Bravo and Foxtrot, that's not a great late game position. Like 101st has so much stuff to fortify. You see, so the toes and the Humvees and the Apaches, of course. But even with the toes being like the T-72 killers, this current meta where you have the BRM, so you have the great recon around, does make it still valid, even if it's not, of course, as great as with something like Abrams, where you have speed and stabilizers. The first engagement happening here with the recon squads and the supporting vehicles opening fire, 30mm grenade launchers getting into position, and they're gonna make short work of this. But there's a bunch of infantry for Axis, 3 infantry squads and a TOW2 here to actually protect Zulu. And nothing on the tower, surprisingly, as MJ Blair opens up a smoke barrage with the mortar into those most common places to fortify with ATGMs and recon units. Yeah, this is an interesting moment. Both players doing a bunch of assumptions here. And meanwhile, Axis has taken Foxtrot, and with the Deltas and the Humvee Deltas moving up here, is trying to take ground, with the BMP-1 being the superior fighting force in this situation.
Yeah, the other Delta also getting into the same room as the BRM-1K might allow the Humvee there with the 84 to go places as well. BRM-1 doesn't spot that yet. And yeah, the smoke off the mortars is going into empty terrain, but it still allows MJ Player currently to push into those buildings, and that's a pretty commanding position. Especially if you can follow it up maybe with a Fagot ATGM or so, then you can really command the space between Alpha, Zulu, and Echo, and potentially even have a lane towards Alpha with a heavy push. So yeah, it's a bit of a gamble here, but I like what MJ Player is doing on as an idea. I'm not so sure if it's going to work out how the fights have worked out so far. The BRM-1 got killed off by the Aerofire teams, and I like the setup of Forces and Echo currently for Axis. If he can get an ATGM in there, this is going to be tough. And the Apache ATAS is here now as well, starting to engage the T-72s, so they have to cover as well. Strelat and M moving slowly forward, but it's gonna be tough to catch this ATAS here.
Yeah, I often say that I call this area, the Two Towers area, a kind of a noob trap. ATAS taking out a T-72 leader here. Oh, that's dramatic.
And the
But
second
yes,
one routed as well. The MEV getting hunted by TOW2s, running into the Aero Scouts with the Law on rear shot. They'll get the kill there. And that's both T-72s down. Both T-72s maybe over pushing it a bit. Ahead of the infantry, ahead of the AA. And yeah, great kills here by Axis. And that's a really, really tough spot now to be in for MJ Player here.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I often tell people that it's a noob trap to attack the other person's tower, because then you have fought over some ground and have not gained a zone. But in this case, with MJ Blair not having to actually fight for that area, this is a really decent place to be, or at least it was before those engagements with the Apache ATAS. This is a common case of just Iglas being a little bit too far. The Iglas and the Strelas were just slightly out of position, and the Apaches have the great range, 2,800 meters. It is better than the range of the Iglas and the Strelas, anyways. Or not the Strelas, only the Iglas.
Yeah, but the mobility allows it to really kite against those as well, especially with the Hellfire also being able to start moving after shooting its Hellfire. It loses a bit of accuracy then, but it still does hit decently well. So the Strela really needs to be on top of the tanks to actually have a shot at catching the enemy Apache. Otherwise, you won't get a shot off. And the Humvee TOW here getting involved now, trying to hunt the Strela. The TOW teams here can come around with impunity as the T-72s are missing. The combined arms of MJ Player really not great right now. So MJ Player currently has to try to get into a position where he at least can hold the ground that he gained in the town so that he can come out of it later whilst waiting for reinforcements. He needs new reinforcements here. His current forces can't really push forward. He kind of can hope that maybe Axis estimates his position and pushes into him. Like the BMP2 right now getting some fire teams here. Another Aero Scouts currently being hunted, but the situation in the north is not developing amazingly either. Lost some BMPs there, didn't really get any kills yet either, and the Humvee tows are in great spots now for Axis there as well.
Yeah, with powerful individual units, such as something like the Aero Rifles Dragon, which has 2 machine guns, 9 guys, and the Dragon 2, the Aero Scouts, which is a 10-man recon squad, the Deltas, of course, and all the like special forces troops. The 101st is like very suited to this kind of gameplay where you have individual units, fast movers, engaging small amounts of other individual units. And MJ Blair, whose strength lies in the ability to bring out all of that mech in a quick succession, is just not. It's just fighting in bad positions, and the aggression here never started really to get going. And like MJ Blair's unit composition here, also there was panic buy of 3 Strelas, and even though the Strelas do have targets around here, maybe just 2 of them and a little bit of extra infantry, because even with the BMP2s now coming in here, supporting with a tank and a BRM, this is going to be a concave. This is already a massive concave, and trying to hold the northern side of the 2 towers area is going to be sitting in that concave. He needs to go either north or west straight up. Just try to get into a zone. Try to like eliminate the reinforcement roads of one zone. If this just becomes a blobbing effort in the urban area here, this is going to be so great for Axis, honestly, to pick it all out.
Yeah, Motschützen pushing forward, and what you want to achieve with 9th in this matchup is that your infantry is just spotting for your fire support, and then your fire support can pick off the enemy infantry with, in the best case, not being shot by the enemy's strong ATGMs. The fire support of 101st is relatively weak. They need to fully rely on helicopters, and there are a couple of M1 IPs, which are decent tanks, but not the most cost efficient. So they don't have the BMP2s, they don't have the high numbers of T-72s that could come around for the other side, but the current traits here for MJ Player not really going that direction. The vehicles got picked off a bit too easily because they didn't have enough recon ahead of them, and now the pressure is coming in. SU-22 with rockets takes out the TOW 2. That's an important kill there. Has to be careful of the stingers coming its way. Gets hit once, but does survive for now. The BMP2 team goes down on the ground. The 30-minute grenade launcher here, pretty nice deal against the infantry. BMP2s and T-72s needs to stay involved as well to keep on dealing damage here. Still red units dying in a lot of places. Strela 10M going down. There is a new one, but yeah, it's still annoying here how efficient the TOW 2s are for MJ Player. The TOW 2s and Hellfires doing a really good job so far for Axis.
Yeah, Axis buying a reasonably early 10-minute or 9-minute artillery piece and is targeting the Strels here. So let's play a game of, is this artillery piece justified? And I would say that considering that MJ Blair is behind a tick, and that the fights that are going to be happening in the near future are going to be infantry attacks, and the fact that there's like a large concentration of mech units around here that can be spotted by long units, this is a case of very much justified artillery purchase. But if, for instance, MJ Blair here tried to like start attacking and bought an Acacia, that despite there being a bunch of infantry targets and like TOW 2s, that I would still maybe give it a little bit more of ground presence before MJ Blair would like want to have a heavy artillery piece. Apache 8s destroying everything. BMP2s, BTRs, command vehicles just gone. The YouTube stream also froze?
Yeah, my stream just died there for a second. I hope we are back online now again. Sorry guys there for the quick shutdown. Hope we're back online without any interruption.
I do not.
The M1 IP here is
I do-
falling back. Yes, it seems like everything is working fine. Yeah, it seems like the short NVIDIA setups are still there even with yesterday's update that I just installed earlier today in hopes that it maybe would help. Yeah, Motschützen RPG 27 pushing forward. Motschützen RPG and 30mm still pushing in. If the M1 IP would have been killed here, all these fights could have been decently justified. Like, without the M1 IP, the forces here of Axis wouldn't be as overwhelming, but with it still being alive and it still getting in some work, the situation here is still pretty rough for MJ player here. Coop trying to come in for the Phantom. Phantom pushed out, forced back, whilst the next one does come in. Ooh, Coop under fire, artillery hits the Aufklärer. Aufklärer getting hit there as well. A Rifle Dragon getting engaged against the Motschützen, getting some good damage in there as well. BMP2 being stuck. Aufklärer going down. Whilst Igla teams try to get to the front line, try to get out of there. Not doing their greatest here, and the KD is just now starting to go too far in the favor of Axis, it seems like, as MJ player is starting to really run out of forces to hold off the enemy infantry pushing forward and getting some good kills against him. They can just run straight into him because he doesn't have any BMP2s anymore that can shoot them down. His T-72 numbers is basically non-existent either, and his infantry is just not numerous enough to do well against the veteran infantry on the other side. SU-22 does try to get a kill in here. If it doesn't get killed on the way out, that was really worthwhile bombing run, and it seems like that's the case. But the 2 artillery pieces for Axis also now can start really just wrecking the kills. They killed the Coops, they killed some more vehicles on the ground already as well, and they force MJ player forward, and then the Apache can come in again and swoop in for some more kills as well. And this is just looking really bleak for the 9th right now, never getting its combined arms to the level they wanted to get it to.
Yeah, I would still say that if you have that kind of a force of early mech units and you want to attack some place that is not the open area of Foxtrot, the south corner of and southeast corner of Echo would be my choice, because this area has a bunch of line of sight blockers, so you can stand behind them, stand behind the halls, and still be able to participate in the fights when the enemy gets infantry into these hangars